A few months back, I found myself in a situation that still baffles me. I decided to tag along with my buddy Greg to a house party, celebrating the end of our first year of high school. Even though I wasn't on the guest list, Greg worked his magic and got me in, like I had a VIP pass or something. Knowing I'd probably be too tipsy to drive later, I asked Greg if he could give us a ride, and he was all for it, saying I was going to have a blast. When we pulled up to the house, I was surprised by how big it was, and it was already 10 at night. That's when Greg hit me with one of the dumbest requests ever. He wanted me to leave my phone in the car to avoid losing it or having some creep swipe it. I wasn't feeling that, so I said no, and I could tell he was annoyed by my response as we got out of the car. I followed him to the backyard where the party was happening. Once we got there, I saw a bunch of people hanging out in groups, probably chatting or doing something sketchy like smoking or trying out some fancy drugs. Greg pushed me to go chat with everyone, saying that most of the folks there were our age and I shouldn't stress about anything. So I took his advice, said hi to a bunch of girls, and started sipping on some drinks, but I made sure to steer clear of smoking or any drugs. A couple of hours later, I realized I was pretty tipsy. My vision was all blurry. As I got closer to the house, I leaned against the wall to steady myself and took a deep breath. Then it hit me that I was wearing a watch, so I lifted my arm. Even though I was shaking a little, I checked the time and saw it was 1 in the morning, which almost made me faint. Right then, I knew I had to head home, so I turned around and scanned the yard for Greg. Even though I felt like I might just drop, I wandered around a bit, but I couldn't spot Greg anywhere. I started asking a bunch of folks if they had seen Greg, and everyone gave me the same response: no. Then I reached into my pocket to grab my phone and dial his number. But just as I did, it started beeping at me. I looked down and realized the battery was completely dead. I mentally kicked myself for not charging it before heading to the party. I felt like such an idiot. Then it hit me. There was only one option left. I'd have to walk home. I remembered my place wasn't too far from here, but the night air was pretty chilly since fall was already here. Still, I had to get back. I didn't know anyone else well enough to ask for a ride, so walking was my only choice. So, I stepped away from the party and started making my way down the street, stumbling a bit every now and then. I cursed myself again, promising I'd never get that drunk again or do anything that would leave me feeling like I was about to pass out. I was still feeling a bit woozy and confused about what went down with Greg. I couldn't shake the thought of whether he really took off without me, or if it was all just some lame prank. I also realized I forgot to charge my phone before heading to the party, which was annoying. As I walked, I wrapped my arms around myself because I was freezing, trying to distract myself from how cold I actually was. Then it hit me. Instead of trudging all the way back home, I could just hitchhike, and it probably wouldn't be too tough. So I stepped to the side of the road, took a deep breath, and stuck my thumb out, like a pro hitchhiker. I was really hoping someone would stop and offer me a ride, because I could definitely use the help right now. But as I stood there, I watched car after car zoom by, completely ignoring me like I was just part of the shadows. Maybe hitchhiking at 1 in the morning wasn't the brightest idea, and I had a feeling no one wanted a tipsy, underage kid in their car. I started to second-guess myself and thought about walking again, but I decided to hang in there a bit longer, so I stretched my thumb out as far as I could. Looks like it worked, because a gray truck pulled up right in front of me, and I felt a rush of excitement in my chest. I hurried over to the truck, and when the window rolled down, I saw an older guy with a black and white beard sitting in the driver's seat. He asked if I needed a ride, and I quickly replied, "Yes, sir," even though my voice was shaky. He smiled and told me to get in, so I thanked him and hopped into the passenger seat. Before long, we were cruising down the street, and the man asked what I was doing out so late and why I was alone. Feeling a bit out of it, all I could manage were some low mumblings, probably leaving him a bit puzzled. As we turned onto the street where my house was, I suddenly felt a weird twist in my stomach, for no clear reason. I couldn't shake that feeling, like something was off. We drove past my house, and I told him we missed my stop, My gut was screaming at me to jump out, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it, which frustrated me. At the end of the street, the guy suddenly stopped and turned to look at me. And I saw this creepy, dark grin on his face that felt straight out of a nightmare. "You really shouldn't be drunk while hitchhiking," he said. Then he leaned in and started rubbing my face, and his hand was cold and rough. I was on the verge of either screaming or throwing a punch. Just as he was about to drive off, we both heard a loud siren, and I noticed red and blue lights flashing in the side mirror. I felt a rush of joy because I realized it was a police car. The guy must have freaked out because he unlocked the door, and before he could think straight, I bolted out of the car and ran to the police car as fast as I could. The cop stepped out of his car and walked over to me, and in a weird twist, I ended up bumping into him. I almost felt like giving him a hug. Just then, we both heard a loud screech, and when we turned around, the gray truck was gone. I felt a wave of relief knowing that guy wasn't around anymore. I started sharing my whole ordeal with the officer, and he mentioned he was actually on the lookout for someone in a gray truck. Apparently, that awful driver might have been involved in a robbery, where he shot at the cashier and got away before the cops could catch him. I'm not entirely sure if the shooter was the same guy who picked me up, but the officer reassured me he'd drive me home, which eased my mind a bit. After that experience, I decided I needed to be more aware of my surroundings. I promised myself that if I ever drank again, it would be in moderation. Plus, I'd make sure my friends stayed close and that my phone was charged for whatever life threw at me. And yeah, I'm definitely done with hitchhiking. I have always thought home was the one place you're supposed to feel safe. You know, doors locked, lights warm, everything familiar. But after what happened that night, I don't think I'll ever feel that kind of safety again. My name is Jake. I'm 27, and I live alone in a small, single-story house just outside Salt Lake City. Been here a year or so. That day was like any other. Worked from home, ran to the store around 6, made dinner, put on a movie. By 9:30, I was in my sweatpants, phone on silent, lights dimmed. I remember thinking how peaceful the night felt. Just normal. Until it wasn't. At exactly 10 p.m., I heard a knock at my front door. 3 knocks. Not loud enough to be aggressive, just enough to be strange. I wasn't expecting anyone. No deliveries, no texts, nothing. I got up, walked over, and peeked through the peephole. 3 guys, mid-30s maybe, casual jackets, no uniforms or badges. One of them had a clipboard. The guy standing in front leaned in a little and said, "Hey man, sorry to bother. We're with the city. Need to check your power meter." Right away, something felt off. The power meter's outside, on the left side of the house. No one ever needs to come inside for that. I didn't say anything. Didn't even breathe loud. Just stood there behind the door, watching. Then he knocked again, this time louder. "Sir, just a quick check. Won't take long." Still, I stayed quiet. My gut was twisting itself into knots by now. Then the guy in the back pulled out his phone, held it up to his ear, and I heard him say, clearly like he wanted me to hear it, "Yeah, he's here. He's just being difficult. Should we go around back?" My stomach dropped. They didn't know I was standing right there. They didn't know I could hear every word, but I did, and I knew in that moment they weren't city workers, not even close. I ran to the back door, locked, then the laundry room window, pulled the blinds down. A few seconds later, I heard it, gravel crunching under their feet. They were walking along the side of the house. I turned off every light, grabbed my phone. Hands shaking, I dialed 911. I whispered into the phone, 3 men trying to break in. I'm alone." The dispatcher stayed calm, said officers were on their way, but it could take 6 to 8 minutes. Then the back door handle jiggled, not gently, like someone was testing it. A second later came the soft knock, followed by a voice, too relaxed. "Come on, man, just open up. We're not here to hurt you." He said it like we were old friends, like this was some misunderstanding. I froze, didn't say a word. Then tap, 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 one of the side windows. They were circling. I saw the curtain shift just slightly. Someone was peeking in. Why's he hiding? We just need 5 minutes. I crouched behind the kitchen counter, holding a kitchen knife. Not sure why. It felt stupid. What was I going to do with a knife against 3 guys? My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear the dispatcher in my ear. She kept telling me, "Do not engage. Officers are en route." Then suddenly, silence. No footsteps, no knocking, nothing. A whole minute passed. I thought maybe they gave up. Then I heard it, the latch on my backyard gate. They opened it. That gate doesn't even have a lock. Anyone can just walk through. And I swear, I almost blacked out right then. Then, from somewhere down the street, a car engine and light, red and blue, flashing through the blinds. The police had arrived. I stayed crouched until I heard the knock. Not the fake kind. This time it came with a loud voice. "Police department!" I ran to the door, opened it. They swept the property, checked every corner. The men were gone, but they left something behind. Right outside the back window, a small black backpack. Inside were gloves, a crowbar, zip ties, duct tape. Yeah, this wasn't just some attempted burglary. They weren't looking to steal a TV. They wanted me. The officer said it looked targeted. Maybe someone had been watching me. Noticed I live alone, keep a routine, rarely have guests. I didn't sleep at all that night. Next day, I bought new locks, motion lights, security cameras, and now I keep a baseball bat beside my bed every night. Sometimes I still freeze up when someone knocks, even if it's just a delivery guy, because that night taught me something real. You don't need to believe in ghosts to feel true fear. Real people are scarier than anything else. My name is John. I'm 31 years old, and I do food delivery in the evenings to earn some extra cash. I live in a small apartment just outside the city. Nothing fancy. Life's been quiet, just the way I like it. It started like every other Saturday night. I had just wrapped up my last delivery run. A warm pizza dropped off at some quiet suburban doorstep. My shift was officially over, and all I could think about was getting home, warming up some leftover noodles, and collapsing in front of my tiny TV. Just another night. Just another job. Until I saw her. She was standing on the side of the road, right under a busted street lamp that flickered like it couldn't decide whether to die or keep going. Alone, arms crossed tight over a gray hoodie, her breath visible in the cold. No purse, no bag, not even a phone in her hand. Just her, looking like she had nowhere to go, looking like fear had wrapped itself around her bones. I don't usually stop. I've seen plenty of things that don't feel right and kept moving. But this time, I don't know. Maybe it was the way her eyes locked onto mine as I passed by. Or maybe it was the way she raised her hand, not waving, just kind of pleading. I eased my bike to a stop. Didn't even kill the engine. She stepped closer, shivering. "Hey," she said, voice trembling. "Sorry, I know this is weird, but my phone's dead. Can I use yours just for a second? I swear, I just need to call someone to pick me up." I should have said no. I should have just kept riding. But something in her voice, something soft, almost broken, made me nod. "Just a quick call," I said, handing her my phone. "Please stay close." She nodded, dialed fast, and held it to her ear. I stood right there, trying not to look suspicious. A few seconds passed. Then she said, "Hey, it's me. Can you come get me? I'm near that old gas station on Briar Road." "Yeah, please hurry." She ended the call, handed the phone back like it weighed a ton. "Thank you," she whispered. "He'll be here soon." I gave a small nod, already turning my handlebars to leave. But then she asked, almost too quietly, "Do you mind if I wait with you? I don't really feel safe standing here alone." Something inside me screamed, "No," but I ignored it. She looked like she needed help. What kind of person just drives off? "There's a bench right there," I said. "You can sit if you want." She smiled again, small, tired, and walked over. I stayed standing by my bike, trying not to let the silence stretch too far. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Still no car, no headlights, no movement. I cleared my throat. "Everything okay?" She hesitated. looked down, then said, "Actually, no, not really." I turned toward her, eyebrows raised, but said nothing. She looked like she was deciding whether to trust me or not. "My ex," she said quietly. "That's who I called. He's not a good person. I don't know why I did it. I panicked." I didn't know how to respond. I just stood there, nodding like that would fix something. Then she asked, "Would you walk me to that diner down the road? Just till I get around more people. I'd feel safer." It was late. I was tired, but it wasn't far, maybe a 5-minute walk, and she looked genuinely scared. We walked in silence. She kept glancing behind us like something was following. I finally asked, "Is someone coming after you?" She didn't answer right away, then whispered, "I think so." That answer sank into my stomach like a stone. The diner came into view, but it was dark, closed. Chairs flipped on tables inside, the kind of silence that feels permanent. She stared at the door like it should have magically opened, and then she looked at me. "I'm sorry." 2 words. Before I could ask what she meant, a car screeched up behind me. Headlights off, tires sliding, doors flung open. 2 men jumped out. I barely had time to turn. One of them slammed his fist into the side of my head. Everything tilted. The ground hit me like a hammer. I heard her voice, sharp, urgent. "Grab the bag from the bike." They took everything. My delivery bag, my phone, my keys, my wallet. I tried to crawl, but a heavy boot landed in my ribs. Pain exploded. Then everything went black. When I woke up, the street was empty again. The lamp above me still flickered like it was laughing. My bike was gone. So were they. So was she. I limped to the nearest gas station, hunched over like an old man, and used their phone to call the police. Told them everything. Her name? I never asked. Her face? Burned into my memory. CCTV footage? Useless. Blurry as hell. No license plate. The number she called? Disconnected. Turns out, I wasn't the first. It's a pattern. She plays helpless, looks lost, waits for someone kind enough to care. I was that someone. It's been 4 months. I still ride, still deliver food, but I wear a helmet cam now. I track every route, and I never stop for anyone at night, no matter how scared they look, no matter how real it feels. Because the last time I did, I lost everything.